Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, fellow traders. It is Wednesday, February 20th. I'm Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators, doing another morning analysis. We didn't have one on Wednesday because, of course, it was President's Day and the equities markets were closed. So the futures and everything else pretty much didn't do much. So we skipped on Monday. But we are back, and I will be here this morning and Friday, of course, as usual. So with that, quick reminder, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Give us some feedback and let us know if these videos are helpful to you or if there's anything else you'd like to see us do more of or do differently, etc. Let us know what we can do to help you in your trading. And with that, let's jump into the S&P 500, the ES futures contract. This is always the first thing that I take a look at in the mornings. And right now, we can see that on a daily basis, which is the left chart here, for those of you who are new to the way that I do this analysis, by the way, I'll do a quick overview. I've got a daily chart on the left and a 60-minute chart on the right. We always use multiple time frames. Very, very important to look at things on more than one time frame. So the daily right now, there's no question that the trend has been very up. There has been a very, very strong push to the upwards direction here. And it is getting pretty overextended at this point. We are at the 161.8 extension level of this first move here. And we're also about to bump our heads up into this sell zone overhead, which was created by these three tops here, this triple top back here. So we have got some significant overhead resistance. I am definitely expecting price to probably push just a little bit higher and then correct, because we are very much due for a correction. So right now, a little bit treacherous of a time if you are looking to go long in the overall markets. So just watch out for that. If you really are looking only to play the long side, then maybe right now you want to kind of wait, conserve your ammo, as it were, and be ready to take advantage of the correction once it comes. Right now on the intraday, rather, on the 60-minute chart, it certainly is still making higher highs and higher lows, which is no surprise. It's reflecting this chart here. But as I said, watch for it to run out of steam. Right this instant, this morning, the trend is basically sideways. Overnight, we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot happen. This has just been very sideways. And you can see also this is a doji candle right here. Let me zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. There it is. And there's actually two of them in a row. One kind of long and one today's is right now short. Of course, the market isn't open yet, so we'll see what happens once the markets begin to move. But given that that is happening right at the 161.8, that is quite significant. And I would just be very wary of the markets going up further from here right now. As I said, we are very overextended and due for a pullback. So watch out for that. There is opportunity to be had, of course, on the shorter term time frames. There are moves to be caught. This one here, that there, this here. There's stuff you can trade, but you definitely need to trade cautiously and make sure you enter in the right places so that you don't get hurt. All right, well, that's kind of the situation right now on ES. Just looking at a lot of stuff overhead and really waiting for that pullback. But let's take a look at crude oil. That's another good general bellwether that we look at all the time. And right now, it is trying very hard to stay up above this congestion zone from back here. It got stuck in it for quite some time, now has jumped above it and is pulling back and testing this zone as support. So right now, anyway, the trend is up. You can see that on the 21 EMA here, and also this trend line. Price has been following it nicely, poked down below, came right back up above it, and held as support. So trend line break is probably going to be the first indication that the trend may have run out of steam. So watch out for that. Right now, any pullback to the trend line is a potential buying opportunity, but make sure that that trend line actually holds before you jump in, and make sure you know where to place your stops as well. On the 60-minute, of course, it's reflecting the same higher highs and higher lows. We do have these zoom out a little. We do have these three zones down here that have been alternating back and forth between buy zones and sell zones as price has oscillated above and below them. Right now, price has definitively climbed up above this high. So the trend is wanting to head up. That being said, you generally don't want to buy immediately on a break of that level because you will usually experience a pullback shortly after that in order to form the next higher low. So watch for that pullback to form and give you a higher low, and then there's a potential entry point with a low risk. Put your stop just below the low. So that is what I would be looking for in crude oil, and there certainly are movements to be had intraday. So you can take advantage of those, but make sure you pay attention to your trend, which right now is turning over on the 60 minutes. So as I mentioned, watch for the pullback, which is looking like what we're getting here. So watch for that higher low to form somewhere and then continue higher from there. And that will give you your low risk entry. All right, let's take a peek at gold, which is very bullish right now, has definitely leapt to the upside. It has gotten over this high here, got through this zone, and is wanting to march higher. I mean, look at that 21 EMA. It is up, 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 up. There's no question what direction this trend wants to go right now. And given the situation in the ES that we are, up at these significant resistance levels, giving us a couple dojis, that doesn't surprise me a whole lot to maybe see people getting a little nervous about the broader markets and maybe moving into gold as a hedge, just to kind of offset things a little bit in case we do get a pullback correction, which we're certainly due for in the ES. So that all fits. So right now, the trend is up. The next major level to get over is going to be this high here from back a ways at about 1404. So that is our level to watch for a break of. Of course, there's some distance to go between here and there. There is a good, 80 points or so, 70 points-ish, 70, 80 points to get through that level. So watch for that. Get back to the, oops, there we go. All right, so watch for price to just gradually climb and take out each one of these lower highs on the way down, and eventually this is the big level that it's going to need to challenge. So watch out for the inevitable pullbacks, though, because nothing goes up in a straight line. It's always, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, etc. So you can expect the same. Gold is going to move up at some point, hit a resistance level, and it's going to pull back, form a higher low, and then go higher again. So just always be watching for those pullbacks. Those are your buying opportunities right now, since on the daily basis, we are definitely in an uptrend. On the 60-minute, you can certainly see those higher highs and higher lows much more clearly, and you can see the zones that it has climbed over. It blasted through this zone here, but didn't do it in one shot. It had go up, pull back, and then break out, and then come back, tested as support, tested as support, tested as support. It held 3 times as support, very, very strong support level. And then, of course, once it took out this level, then you knew there was going to be continuation to the upside. So that is your direction to be playing in gold. All right, natural gas. Let's take a look at natural gas. And, whoops, come on. There we go. So natural gas has been in quite the downtrend and still technically is in that downtrend. That being said, we've got some key levels down here to watch for. So we've got these 2 zones that were formed by these areas here. And right now, price has not gotten down to them. But notice this trend line, this descending trend line. Price has not been able to break above it. Let me zoom in a little so you can see it better. And price is right now just kind of hugging that trend line very nicely. And the trend line is a good shorting opportunity. So if you're looking to put a position on natural gas right now, the direction, without a doubt, is to the downside. That being said, you look at the 60-minute and you can see a slightly different story. The 60-minute has a shorter-term downtrend line, which has been breached. So that is our first indication that perhaps the trend is running out of steam a little bit. At a minimum, maybe it needs to correct somewhat. And we're kind of seeing that. We're seeing a little minor correction here, just a little drift to the upside. But the question is it going to be able to break through this trend line, take out this level here and go higher and actually begin to reverse this trend line? Or is it going to just retrace slightly and then break this low and head lower? And right now, either is distinctly possible. But I am thinking that price wants to test these zones down here, either at least one of them, if not both of them. So certainly we are in a downtrend, and fighting that trend is usually a losing battle. So keep that in mind. On the 60-minute, yes, the trend has kind of turned around, but it's only on the 60-minute. So the daily is going to supersede the 60-minute. It is the more powerful trend. So make sure that you are paying attention to that and watch for patterns of lower lows and lower highs. Right now, the lower high to get over is that, and the lower low to break is that. So right now, price pretty much right in the middle of those two areas. We need to see what happens. Does it come up to here and then fail? Or does it actually climb over that zone and march higher? That's kind of what you're looking for in natural gas right now. And let's finish up with crypto, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is getting some momentum to the upside. It has actually hopped over this descending triangle line here, and did it kind of early. I was expecting it to get more, towards the end of the wedge before that happened. But right now, it has hopped up above it, and it just needs to hold from there and then march higher. Got to take out that level, and then ultimately that level to have any really serious bullishness. Because right now on the lower lows and lower highs, really this is our lower high and this is our lower low. Those are the main levels that I'm watching for in Bitcoin. So this is looking good for the bulls. The trend on the 21 EMA has turned around. It has hooked back up again. And that is certainly a positive sign. The question is, how long can it hold for? Because we've seen that happen before, right? And it just doesn't hold. And it tried one last time and then sold off. So is it going to do the same thing again here? Is this just a fake out of the bulls and the bears are going to come back in and slap everything down again? Or are we out of bears? Are there no bears left? And right now, all we got are buyers. Don't know. No real way to tell that. But what I do know is what's happening on the charts. So on the 60-minute basis, we are beginning to make higher highs and higher lows on the smaller time frame. So that is certainly a bullish sign. There's definitely no question about what direction this trend is. I mean, there's the 21 EMA, very much up. But Bitcoin has a tendency to move in these sudden, very strong spurts and then sideways, and then a very strong spurt and then kind of sideways. So I would be expecting that kind of behavior to continue. That's what we've been seeing for a long time. We haven't just been seeing a solid trend. It just moves suddenly and then goes sideways and consolidates. So I expect that to continue. But at the moment, the trend is up on the 60 and has just hooked up on the daily. So the trend is looking up. So the bulls have got to be pleased with that, although they have got a long battle ahead of them to get back up to the lofty heights of 20K Bitcoin. So there's a lot of distance to cover between 4,000 Bitcoin and 20,000. And right now, in fact, that brings up a good point. That 4,000 level, which is going to be a key psychological level, those big round numbers are very, very important psychologically to humans. And right now we're at 39.15. So far, haven't been able to hit 4,000. Is that going to act as a solid resistance level and then head the price lower? Don't know. We'll have to see. Or are the buyers going to decide to just blast through it and push it up and keep it up? This is a very critical level, I think, for Bitcoin. If the buyers aren't willing to step in and shoot it up over that 4,000 level, then I suspect that this is going to act as resistance, and we are going to see this smaller time frame, lower lows and lower highs, just basically continue, and that this little trend attempt to break is going to be nullified. So we'll really have to wait and see, but watch that 4,000 level. That is a very, very important level for Bitcoin. All right, let's take a quick peek back at the ES. Make sure that the world hasn't gone crazy while we were looking at other things, and no big surprise, it has not. Nothing really happening right now, just kind of going sideways, waiting for that opening bell, which is going to be in 30 minutes. So that is it for the morning market analysis. Once again, I'm Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators, asking you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Do give us feedback. We always see it. I make sure to read your feedback and reply when it makes sense to do so. So I would love to hear from you. And I'm going to get ready for the trading day ahead. I hope you have a great day of trading. As always, use good money management and good position sizing and good risk setting and all that good stuff. Trade carefully, especially at these levels. If you are trading the ES, the NQ, the YM, all the major broader markets, just watch out because we are approaching a very significant resistance area and a pullback is due. So trade cautiously. That's it. I'll be back on Friday morning to do this all over again. Till then, trade well.